Dato, our friends on the MCC Facebook are asking why is MCC not saying anything about the Sri Lankan issue. Would you like to say something?
Actually, MCC has always taken a pro-Tamil stance before the war, during the war, and even after the war. Is that probably our views have not been publicized, and we do not want to indulge in ugly debates that happens over the internet. We are a bit disturbed and saddened by the language used, personalities, whatever not. But that also reveals the passion with how some people feel about the Sri Lankan issue. But the sad thing is the Tamils here appear to be divided, taking sides on the Sri Lankan war. Though MCC feels that there cannot be two sides to the story because there's only one story, atrocities that have been committed in Sri Lanka. And we have always persisted with these views. For that matter, I was the first doctor from Malaysia to have arrived in the Wani camps to serve there, not for 1 day or 2 days. Not taken on a guided tour of Sri Lanka, had a chance to see for myself the refugees who have been housed in those IDP camps, over 300, over 1,000. I've given talks in various places in the UK, in Malaysia. I was invited to Australia, but I didn't have the time to go to Australia to give talks on my experiences about the atrocious conditions in Sri Lanka. Notwithstanding that, some people had gone to Sri Lanka much later, maybe a year later, months later, and they came back with glowing tributes to the Sri Lankan government about conditions in Sri Lanka after being taken on a guided tour of the camps in Sri Lanka. So I didn't want to get into a debate because my view differed from their views, and I knew that the whole world knew what was happening. So I have refrained from getting into vitriolic debates in the internet, but MCC stand has always been persistent and always been consistent pro-Tamil stance.
Dato, what do you have to say about the video Killing Fields, which was released by Channel 4 recently?
I think the video clips are actually what I think the whole world knew about long time ago, and I think those of you in Malaysia who had seen that Makal TV, Channel 203, during the war they had shown so much of atrocities in Sri Lanka. And as I said earlier, I was the first doctor in Malaysia to have gone immediately after the so-called war came to an end. I served in the camps for 2 weeks. I heard about the atrocities that were committed firsthand from the refugees in the camps, and I'd seen some of the after effects on those refugees who were in the camp. It's a well-known fact that atrocities were committed, and I think any amount of denial is not going to serve the purpose. And just like in Serbia, where the rulers of those the erstwhile Yugoslavia were taken to task and are being prosecuted. The same thing with the Cambodian Pol Pot regime, who are now being prosecuted for atrocities committed during their era. Of course, let's not forget about Saddam Hussein, And also not forget about Second World War, when Nazi Germany, all those who were involved in Nazi Germany have been prosecuted. I think such killing fields, I think it's more severe than what happened in Cambodia. I think those who committed those crimes must be held to task.
What is MCC's stand about the International Court of Justice prosecuting the Sri Lankan government for all the atrocities committed?
I think we urge all people to sign up the petition to the UN, asking them to start this prosecution against the erstwhile regime that conducted the war in Sri Lanka and committed all those atrocities. It is there for everyone to see. So I don't think it will be fair for the world to close their eyes and let these atrocities go unpunished.
Dato, Malaysian Ceylonese Congress is the only organization that represents the Malaysians of Ceylonese origin in this country. What do you have to say about FOMSO?
See, Malaysian Ceylonese Congress was a party that was formed, a political party that was formed in 1958 to look into the aspirations of the Ceylon Tamils, of the Ceylonese in Malaysia, which we are doing so. My emphasis is we are a political party. FOMSO is a federation of Sri Lankan organizations. We have several cultural, religious, cooperative organizations who form a federation. So we are not associated with them in any way except socially, but we are not part of FOMSO. We are an independent organization, and just like a political organization, it is in any country, doesn't join a federation of like-minded organizations. You cannot imagine in Malaysia UMNO joining a federation of Malay organizations, or nor in the UK the Labour, the Conservatives party joining a federation of English organizations. So we are very, very independent, and our views are also independent, and our views do not necessarily coincide or match what FOMSO holds. They are entitled to their views. We respect their views, and MCC has got its own views, and ours are independent, and ours will always be pro-Tamil.
Dato, you have explained about FOMSO. What is MCC's stand?
MCC's stand is very, very clear. We agree and the world agrees, and any normal thinking person will understand that atrocities have been committed in Sri Lanka. We demand that these atrocities be investigated, and if need be, action be taken. We feel that the Tamils in Sri Lanka must live with dignity and equality, not only for the Tamils but for the nation as a whole. If Sri Lanka is to develop, then all the citizens, they are not immigrants to Sri Lanka. The Tamils are not immigrants to or foreigners in Sri Lanka. They are the system, born, bred there. They are part of the population, the original population of Sri Lanka. So they should not be treated any different just because they are a minority in Sri Lanka, in their homeland itself. And that is our stand. And we'll always promote that equality be given to the Tamils in Sri Lanka.